10 years ago, the world faced an unprecedented catastrophe when a massive swarm of extraterrestrial life forms known as EVA descended upon Earth. These monstrous beings invaded the planet in overwhelming numbers, wiping out entire cities in an instant. Human weapons, no matter how advanced, proved utterly ineffective against them. For a brief moment, it seemed as if humanity was on the verge of extinction, unable to mount any significant resistance. However, in an ironic twist of fate, the very presence of the EVA introduced a cosmic substance known as element into Earth's atmosphere. This mysterious energy triggered a transformation in the human population, granting them incredible abilities. This sudden evolution led to the beginning of humanity's counterattack against the EVA, shifting the balance of power and igniting a new age of warfare where gifted individuals became Earth's last hope. Fast forward to the present day, the world has drastically changed. In order to combat the EVA, humanity established elite training academies to cultivate powerful warriors. One such institution, the 8th Special Forces Training School, commonly known as Hachi School, is regarded as the nation's top facility, gathering talented students aged 15 and older with exceptional alpha abilities. These young fighters are trained to become humanity's strongest defenders, ready to take on the extraterrestrial threat. In front of the grand tower of the school stands the protagonist of our story, gazing up at the prestigious institution. His expression holds a mix of determination and resignation as he reflects on his situation. Though he technically belongs to this place, his role is far from glamorous. Just as he muses about his presence at the academy, an empty can strikes his head. The impact startles him, and he looks up to see a sneering student standing a few feet away. It turns out to be one of the school's bullies, a privileged student with alpha abilities. The bully smirks and orders him to dispose of the trash, mocking his lack of powers. The protagonist clenches his fists, but ultimately bends down to pick up the can. In this world, individuals are ranked according to the strength of their alpha abilities. The ranking system categorizes them into different levels, with E and F designated for civilian reserves, while A to D ranks are for specialized soldiers. At the top of this hierarchy are the S-rank individuals, legendary warriors whose power is unparalleled. However, amidst all of this, the protagonist is an anomaly. He is the only known human who did not awaken to any alpha ability, rendering him unranked. As he picks up the discarded can, he mutters under his breath, refusing to acknowledge the idea that rank determines a person's worth. His defiance irritates the bully, who wastes no time in launching an attack. With a sadistic grin, he beats the protagonist mercilessly, knocking him to the ground. Grabbing him by the hair, the bully sneers, asserting his dominance as a ranked individual. Channeling his ability, he conjures a fireball in his hand, threatening to educate the unranked janitor on the true meaning of power. However, just as he prepares to unleash his flames, something unexpected happens. The fireball in his palm suddenly crystallizes, turning into ice. Shocked, he stares at his frozen hand, unable to comprehend what just occurred. A commanding voice interrupts the scene, questioning why an alpha ability meant for fighting EVA is being used against a powerless civilian. The bully turns to see the source of the voice, Hyuga Orin, a first-year student at Hachi School and one of the most promising S-rank warriors. She is known as the Ice Wall Witch, and her mere presence is enough to make the bully back off. Though irritated, he clicks his tongue and mutters under his breath before leaving. Hyuga then turns her attention to the protagonist, still lying on the ground. As she picks up the can, she coldly advises him not to defy those of higher rank, reminding him that in times of emergency, higher-ranked individuals are even granted permission to eliminate lower-ranked ones. Her words are laced with superiority, reflecting the deep-seated belief that rank dictates a person's worth. However, the protagonist simply smiles and thanks her for picking up the can. He boldly declares that rank and alpha abilities are meaningless. What truly matters is a person's actions. His job as a janitor is to support the students of Hachi School, ensuring they can train to protect humanity. His unwavering resolve leaves Hyuga momentarily speechless. Watching him walk away with a casual wave, she furrows her brows, murmuring to herself about how strange he is. As he disappears from sight, a memory from the past flashes in his mind. 8 years ago, a younger version of himself sat crying, his tears rolling down his cheeks as he confided in his mother. He had always been ridiculed for not having an alpha ability, constantly made fun of by his peers. But his mother's gentle voice reassured him, reminding him that a person's worth was not determined by what they possessed, but by what they did. She told him that he didn't need an alpha ability to be valuable. He simply needed to find a way to be useful to others in his own way. With renewed determination, the young boy had wiped his tears and promised his mother that he would try his best. However, life had other plans. Eventually, his mother fell gravely ill. The doctors explained that her body was unable to withstand the strain of her own alpha ability, and unfortunately, there was no treatment available. As she lay in the hospital, whispers of judgment surrounded them. A nurse scoffed at the situation, muttering how pitiful it was that both the mother and child were unranked. Two worthless individuals unable to contribute to society in any meaningful way. The words stung, embedding themselves deep in the young boy's heart. Standing outside the academy, the present-day protagonist clenches his fists. The memory of her words echoes in his mind, strengthening his resolve. Despite lacking any alpha abilities, he remains firm in his belief that he can contribute in his own way. The scene shifts to the present, where he diligently carries out his work as a janitor at Hachi School, the country's top training institution for young warriors with exceptional alpha abilities. With a cloth in hand, he wipes the floors, polishes the windows, and scrubs the toilets with unwavering dedication. Finishing his work earlier than expected, he considers heading outside to continue his duties. Meanwhile, in the training grounds, an instructor announces the beginning of a practical exercise for the students. The trainees, all ranked B or higher, are assigned one C-class EVA each, a test meant to gauge their combat skills. As the instructor gives the signal, the cages are opened, and monstrous four-legged creatures emerge, launching an immediate attack. Among the trainees, two figures stand out, the arrogant bully and the elite ice-wielding girl. Without hesitation, they unleash their abilities. The bully conjures a massive fire-based attack, while the girl erects an unbreakable ice wall, effectively eliminating the EVAs in an instant. Their overwhelming power astonishes the other students, who marvel at their prowess. They boast that, at this rate, even an S-class opponent would be no challenge. Uninterested in the display of power, the protagonist focuses on his task, picking up a discarded can. However, just as he is about to leave, a blinding light suddenly streaks across the sky. The city trembles as the beam strikes, creating a powerful shockwave. In an instant, buildings crumble, roads split apart, and chaos erupts. Alarm sirens blare, signaling an emergency. A warning echoes across the school's communication system. An EVA attack has been detected in District D48, right near Hachi School. The students barely have time to react when a monstrous entity emerges. Unlike the previously encountered EVAs, this one is on an entirely different level. A massive dragon with a black-scaled body and glowing blue patterns looms over the battlefield, exuding an aura of sheer dominance. The city's defense system issues an emergency directive, calling for all C-rank and higher warriors to engage the beast immediately. The protagonist, caught in the chaos, is overwhelmed by the sheer size of the creature. He watches as the high-ranking trainees confidently step forward, convinced that their elite status makes them unstoppable. The bully, full of arrogance, rallies his peers, claiming that the dragon was foolish to appear in a place full of top warriors. Without proper formation or strategy, the overconfident trainees charge toward the dragon, eager to defeat it and earn recognition. Disregarding the warnings of the ice-wielding girl, the group recklessly launches their strongest attacks. Now, the air crashing into the beast in a powerful explosion. The battlefield is engulfed in smoke and debris. The trainees, assuming victory, cheer triumphantly, believing that they have slain the dragon with their overwhelming firepower. However, as the dust settles, their celebration turns to horror. From within the smoke, the dragon's head emerges, completely unscathed. Its eyes glow with an eerie light, radiating pure malice. A deafening roar shakes the entire area, sending waves of fear through the ranks. The trainees, once so confident, now find themselves paralyzed in disbelief. How could their combined attacks have done nothing? With a menacing glare, the dragon retaliates. From its massive jaws, a surge of energy builds, and in the next instant, a devastating breath attack is unleashed. A beam of destructive energy, reminiscent of a godlike force, sweeps across the battlefield, annihilating everything in its path. Realizing the impending doom, the ice-wielding girl springs into action. She erects an enormous ice barrier, shielding herself and the remaining warriors from the dragon's wrath. The barrier absorbs the brunt of the attack, but the sheer force causes cracks to form. The trainees huddle behind her, their bravado now completely shattered. They are no longer warriors, just terrified children in the face of an unstoppable force. The protagonist watches as the shield finally shatters, sending the ice-wielding girl flying backward. The elite trainees, who had been so sure of their victory moments ago, are now scattered, injured, and in disarray. It dawns on him that the strongest students, those meant to be humanity's last line of defense, have been utterly crushed in an instant. Panic spreads among the rankers as they come to a terrifying realization. The dragon before them is no ordinary Eva. It is the same monstrous being that devastated Tokyo 8 years ago. It is the strongest species, the calamity that left an entire city in ruins. Terror grips the warriors as the dragon prepares its next attack. Their confidence shatters completely, replaced by sheer survival instinct. Amidst the destruction, the protagonist stands frozen, watching as the supposed protectors of humanity crumble before his eyes.